guys, welcome back to another What If. What if Deku was Spider-Man Part 5? So let's begin our What If. So, we start off. It's nighttime. Deku's been captured by the Green Goblin and his goons. Rhino, Martin Lee, and Scorpion. It's not the complete group of Sinister Six. Deku's blood's getting transferred to Green Goblin's wife, because sadly she's ill with this plague that could carry out to be in her son's genes, basically, which is Harry. So Harry's in danger too. So Deku is starting to wake up. His eyes are kind of blurry, and he just sees the Green Goblin transferring blood from him to his wife. And Deku, he's in chains, so he can't move. And he's like, what the? Where am I? And Rhino's like, the boss just wants your blood. And Rhino says, but I want to rip you into pieces. So I'm gonna break every single bone of your body. And then Rhino does a big uppercut to Deku's face. Deku's jaw snaps. Deku's like, my mouth is broken. Ouch. And then the Rhino starts punching and punching and punching and punching Deku's chest. Deku's ribs are breaking, they are snapping. You can easily hear them like playing with a bottle. And you can just hear the cracks just rumble inside of him. Deku is bleeding out of his mouth. It's like, wait a minute, I'm not wearing a mask. They can see my identity. Meaning, my friends are in danger. And he's all saying this in his head. And he's like, no, not again. This means amazing danger. Deku, with all his strength, tries to break out of the chains, but he can't. It's too strong. And then he realized these are quirk powers. And he's like, wait a minute. So, that spider was radioactive and had a quirk inside of it. But I do have super strength. I may just have to break it. And then Rhino says, kid, stop trying. And Deku's like, I will never stop. And let me say that there is a puddle in front of Deku. And Rhino throws the mask in the puddle. And it has only half the Spider-Man mask. But the reflection of Deku's face goes on top of it. Kind of like what happened to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And mostly anything that happens in the comics. Deku closes his eyes. Then he hears, with great power, there must come great responsibility. Sometime, anytime, Peter, Deku, you're gonna become a man. So you use those choices to be a better person and protect anybody who's in danger. And Deku remembers the day where he walked out of his house arguing with Uncle Ben. And then straight forward, Uncle Ben dies in front of him. Deku uses all that power that he has and his responsibilities that he's been putting all on his shoulders for the past couple years. So he rips out of the chains. And don't forget, Deku's around 19 now. He breaks off the chains. Rhino's like, huh? Nani? What the heck just happened? And Scorpion's like, I'll choke him up for you, master. He gets his tail and he starts choking Deku. Deku does a B-twist, dodging it. and he grabs onto the tail and kicks Scorpion to the head, and then he realizes there's a string connecting him to Green Goblin's wife. Green Goblin's like, "Don't move, dummy." And then he throws his glider straight at Deku's head. Deku dodges it using his spidey sense, but this time he dodges and it cuts the cord, carrying the blood that's going to be transferred to the Green Goblin's wife. Deku starts running out of the building. Every single corridor he smashes through the window, trying to get out and trying to be rescued, and he's saying, "I need a hero, can anybody help me?" And he realized nobody's in the street. It's around 3 a.m. People are sleeping. Deku starts swinging on buildings, wall climbing, and then from nowhere he sees Martin Lee on a helicopter just following him. And then Martin Lee jumps off the helicopter and stabs Deku in the chest. Deku bleeding. Deku does a backflip, basically bending the sword out of his body. And then he slide tackles Martin Lee and then basically sidekicks him in the face, jumps out of the building. Then Scorpion comes, grabs Deku. Deku starts free falling in the sky. He's getting punched repeatedly by Scorpion, and then from nowhere, Rhino comes from below. Backhead smacks him. Deku gets knocked out. He's about to hit the ground, and he feels like he's in heaven in his head, as everything is so bright. He sees his Uncle Ben at the end of the road, and he's like, "Uncle Ben, I can't die, I'm too young." And he reaches out a web from his web shooters, and he pulls back up, ready to fight. He does a 360 flip kick to Rhino. Coming back, he does a web shooter at Scorpion's tail and starts spinning Scorpion somewhere else to another building, and starts free falling again. But this time he's using his momentum of free falling as he kind of dislocated his leg too. And he's now swinging and swinging and swinging farther and further away until he sees Green Goblin's glider literally trying to kill him. Like, it's following him through like street to street, cloud to cloud, and it's at this point where Deku is going through fire escapes, and he can't do anything about it because this glider is just following him like a stalker, and this time it's running fast. This glider starts releasing these sharp grenades with punky things, and Deku starts dodging them like a freaking assassin, and he starts punching the glider. The glider's not doing anything as it's basically made by titanium, the strongest metal at that point in My Hero. It starts shooting at Deku. It shoots Deku at his spleen, and Deku's like, Deku collapses on the floor, and his hands full of his own blood, and he's trying to crawl to the end of the building so he can swing, but he can't even move. He's broken, kind of like how Deku was broken every time he punches and breaks every bone, basically. That's what Spider-Man's feeling right now. Deku's like, I can't allow this to happen. And Green Goblin comes and jumps onto his glider, and he's like, Spider-Man. It's very pleasant of you to die here right now. But the sad thing is, I have to save you right now. So your blood can have oxygen going through my wife, who's in a coma right now. Your immense power will save my family, and I won't lose Deku in his head like, I'm sorry, but I'm not allowing this to happen. Deku does a free-falling backflip, starts swinging, does like some Spider-Man twists and all spins, backflip, front flip, you name it. Green Goblin is searching for him, shooting all these grenades at Deku. Deku dodging all the explosions. Then Green Goblin gets this freaking green sword, like kind of like what Harry was using in Spider-Man 3, and he starts swinging around, trying to cut Spider-Man's head off, but not really damaging him, like maybe cut a bit of his neck, or something like that, or cut his arm, for example. Deku dodging them, using his Spidey sense, kind of like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Mostly every Spider-Man uses it, but he's using it so extremely that his brain is processing sensors like Daredevil, echolocation, like things like that. Because he can't even see with his lenses, because he has to use his sense, and that's what I heard in the comics, and that's pretty cool. So Green Goblin is aiming for Deku, but Deku, he hides from a different building and puts his web shooter string in front of Green Goblin. Green Goblin going extra fast, like he's going as fast as CW Flash in season 1. Yeah, but if I said sound, and he hits the rope, right? Banging his head repeatedly and repeatedly on these poles and pipes, and he falls unconscious on the floor. Deku rolls on the floor and he says, did I kill you? He starts doing CPR. He's not doing mouth to mouth because that's gay, and Deku's not gay in this story. And he hears a heartbeat until he gets stabbed again by Martin Lee and the Green Goblin, and the Green Goblin literally rises Deku with his sword, and it's like, Spider-Man, I'm gonna kill everyone you love. I'm gonna do it nice and slow, and pin Spider-Man to the wall, stabbing the wall with Spider-Man's body in it. So really, Deku's body is getting pierced to the wall like he's been crucified, and it pains him. He's crying and he's like, ah! His eyes are closing. It's like, no, I can't die here. No, never. And Rhino comes from nowhere. Right hook, Spider-Man. Left hooks, uppercut. Right hook, left hook. Jab, 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 jab. And you guys don't realize. You probably say, Spider-Man should be dead right now. No. Remember, Spider-Man has a healing factor. He's not human anymore. He's half a spider, half human. So he's got instant radiation that could basically make him dead, Deadpool, basically, if he wants, if he trains. But he can't, because he's got responsibility, and it puts stress on his powers, meaning that he won't do the 100% that his powers won't allow him to do. So, yeah. Deku's like, and Green Goblin just pinning the sword through his stomach. And it's just like, do you feel it? You feel the blade piercing through your body. Oh, I can feel your spine at the edge of the sword. And Scorpion's like, I got this poisonous venom, my tail. You don't want me to stab you right now. And Green Goblin's like, no, don't do it. The venom may go on the blood, meaning it will go on my wife too. So, boys, get your bags and put all his blood inside. Today, we're going to revive my wife. And you'll all get your gifts at the end of the day. Rhino, you'll get all the money you want. Scorpion, you'll get all the tech to basically finance your child's fees at school. And Martin, you can get your revenge at Dr. Octopus, Dr. Octavius, for what he did when you were little. You know, I even know him myself. He's an employee at Oscorp, so you can go to Oscorp and you could go kill Dr. Octopus for me. And Martin's like, yes sir, thank you. And Deku's like, so this is all a plan to kill me? And Deku's like, so tell me about Shocker. Did he spill the beans or something like that? Because the last time I spoke to him, he said, you're gonna kill him. I'm not gonna allow that to happen. Deku does a 360 spin, punches Green Goblin. He releases out the sword out of his body, and he's like, ah! And he starts running and running and running, using all his super speed, and he jumps in the air, starts swinging and swinging. He arrives at his apartment, and he rolls into the bed, and he closes the door, locks the door, closes the windows, and he basically blocks the fire escape. So yeah, Deku is like Deku goes to the toilet and he sees himself in the mirror. He sees stabbed wounds, gunshots, broken ribs, and a broken jaw, and a broken leg. And he's like, I need to clean myself right now. I know. I guess I got 147 bones left. I have to fight back. Deku starts making a new suit. He started making the Tasm suit instead of the Raimi suit, because his Raimi suit got damaged, and that was the one he was using. So he uses this Tasm 1 suit, meaning the Amazing Spider-Man suit 1. So he swings out of the building, he starts dive bombing, and he releases a big swing. And then he starts screaming, where are you? Where are you, Goblin? And then he just hears voices. Goblin's here. Not there. And Deku starts moving around, trying to sense where he is at. Then something rolls on the floor. It's this little pumpkin. Deku holds it, and then it starts getting brighter and brighter. And then it starts flashing, and Deku's like, shit, it's a bomb. Deku throws it into the air. Boom! Explodes at Deku's face. Deku gets blasted back into the sky. And he gets his back spine broken. Like, a bit of it. Like, he doesn't become permanent paralyzed, but it just breaks a little bit thing at his spinal cord. And he gets hit by this wall, and he starts falling off these pipes and hit a freaking car that was parked a few days ago. And Deku's like, Green Goblin starts shooting at Deku with his gauntlet, with his glider, and Deku starts dodging, doing B-twists, side flips, and twists. He starts doing hand movements, trying to do dodges, but he's also getting shot at the same time at his arm. And Deku starts running in the street, asking for help, and then people are like, wait a minute, it's Spider-Man. What are you doing at this time? It's already 6 a.m. And Deku's like, just call the heroes right now. And the citizen calls the heroes, and only one hero shows up, and that's All Might. And then now it's around 30 minutes later. Deku's been running from Green Goblin, and his goons besides for Martin Lee, as Martin Lee is going to kill Dr. Octavius for what he did when he was younger. And All Might's like, young man, do you need help? And he blocks Deku. Deku looks up and he sees All Might and he's like, All Might, is that really you? All Might's like, yes, it's me in my prime. So watch out, kid. And go be a hero. Plus Ultra! He jumps in the air, punches Green Goblin, and explodes the glider. And then he starts wall climbing, just grabbing onto the wall, and boom! I'm not sure if All Might can fly. Well, he can't, but he can glide in style. But he uppercuts Green Goblin, knowing that he's still a human inside. He right hooks him, left hooks him, uppercuts him, spins him to the ground, making a dome, and says, Delaware, did I try to smash? Punches Green Goblin to the dome, and the dome just gets bigger. Cars get thrown in the sky, and basically All Might looks enraged, just like if I say Superman was when he killed General Zod. And he's like, I think that was the last of him. Kid, you need help? Deku's on the floor, and All Might reaches out his hand, and he raises Deku's hand, and Deku's like, but I'm a vigilante. And All Might's like, you think you're the only vigilante that never helped hero society? There's thousands of them, and all of them are mostly quirkless. Or just people want to do good things. I've seen you save so many lives. People have already called you the #1 hero, like proper, and I'm just the normal pro hero. You are a true hero. You don't ask for money like me sometimes, because us pro heroes, we get paid by the government, and you don't. And I've heard your voice so many times that I've realized that you started as a kid. Like, you sounded around 12, and Deku says, no, I sounded 15. Now I'm 19. I live by myself, but I'm not gonna tell you my secret identity. I'll get in danger. My mask is already ripped, so people can see half of my face, but yeah. And All Might's like, you need to go hospital? Deku says, no hospital. They found out my secret. And All Might's like, oh, then you want me to help you do some surgeries? Because before I was a hero, I learned how to become a doctor, unless I get hurt. And then from nowhere, the glider stabs All Might. Basically the same thing as how Green Goblin got killed in the Spider-Man trilogy, where the glider hits his half and just basically cuts him in half and pinned him to the wall. All Might starts screaming, "Ugh!" and just dies out of losing a lot of blood, and his legs come off from his body. So this is gory to Deku. Deku basically faints on the floor, seeing the #1 hero die in front of him, giving his last good words to him. I'm not even saying his last breath. Out of knowing nothing, Deku's spidey sense hit first, and he didn't help to push All Might as he saw the glider because he was too weak. Deku wakes up and he's back to the same place, seeing Green Goblin. But Rhino, Scorpion are not there. Rhino and Scorpion got their prize, so they left the group so far. But whenever they want something, they go to Green Goblin and do his task so he can give them their money or whatever they want. And Green Goblin's like, it's a shame, Spider-Man, that I don't want to kill you. And I'm sorry about your friend that you just made. He just got in the way. And I had to say, stay out of my way, so I cut him in half. But nah, that's not it. I just want the blood. He should have left. Should have never helped the vigilante. Anyway, he's transferring the blood into his wife. And his wife starts shaking and shaking and shaking. Like she's having a seizure. Anybody who has a seizure, it's a tough life, man. I've got friends who've had seizures. But, you know what? We get out of that situation. And we focus on the positive stuff. So, yeah. And the blood's getting transferred into his wife. The wife is having a seizure. Her eyes are getting rolled to the back of her head. And she's basically dying even more. And Green Goblin's like, it's not working. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working. Work! Work! And then Green Goblin gets his basically sword and starts peeling Deku into pieces and starts putting the blood into a cup and makes his wife drink the blood. And the blood is basically radioactive, meaning it won't work to certain people with worse illnesses and all that. And in some degrees, his wife is already dying, right? And she's close to death. Any minute she can just die and she can perish. So why would the radioactive work on something that's not really healthy? Like Deku was very healthy when he got bit, and it was pure from the spider and not from the human. So yeah, it won't work as well as it was. Kind of like the Green Goblin situation in the TASM series. So the blood's getting transferred, and then her heart stops from beep 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 beep. Goes silent. Green Goblin turns back to Norman. Deku sees Norman's face, and Norman's crying. He couldn't bear to look at Spider-Man. And Spider-Man, he does the same thing what he did in the beginning. Get out of the chains. No, he wasn't in the chains. He was on a chair, wrapped around, and he basically rips out like he's Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 2. What happened to when he revealed his mask to Harry. So yeah, and he spins out of the whole warehouse and leaves. And he's like, he vomits out blood, and he's like, Green Goblin's Norman, my best friend's dad. And that's where we're gonna leave our part for now. This is probably season 1, the ending, but we have even reached season 2, the best part, where Deku actually goes to college. Kind of the same thing what happens in the comics, which most of the best stories happen. And I advise you guys to stick around so you can see my next parts or my other what ifs. So everybody, have a nice day.